Yeah, that's right. We're gonna talk about that for the nth time, but we're gonna talk about it like, you know, we're gonna use our heads, we're gonna use our brains. We're going to put aside what we've heard from other people, and probably even people that we respect, right? You might be thinking, oh yeah, Tonewood matters because this and that. Let's say mahogany is a warm sounding wood, warm sounding, and then you got maple is a bright sounding wood, all this crap. It's not crap or anything like that, but what you've been led to believe. Let's dissect that. Let's analyze our beliefs that we have adopted from other people, right? This is just my observation. I'm just a guy, just a simple guy who decided to question certain things, certain beliefs. I'm allowed to do that, right? Am I gonna get cancelled? Am I gonna get, just for guitar opinions? Has that sort of stuff leaked into the guitar world too? Now, I'll go straight into it. I have here my PRS Custom 22. And I have two PRSs. I also have my Custom 24 right there, which I'll also talk about. This one, both of them, have a mahogany body, a mahogany neck, a maple cap, rosewood fingerboard. Although this is, now the cap on here is a flame maple cap. It's an ordinary cap. It's not I don't know if that matters, but we're going to be talking about as much detail as practicable, right? Because we're analyzing this anyway. It's a regular flame maple cap. It's not a 10 top, no nothing. It's just a regular, do you call that run of the mill? And then this is I think this is an Indian rosewood fretboard. And you got the inlays. The inlays on these are, I don't know if that matters, but they are one of those. Get a closer look on this one, but you can see there it's abalone inlays on the inside, and then there's what I think is acrylic on the outline there. See that white bit there, and then abalone on the inside. I think. I think they're either acrylic or some kind of plastic, because and that's another thing too. By the way, on a side note, you can buy a nice and expensive Gibson Les Paul standard, and they won't even have, their trapezoid inlays are not even mother of pearl. You're paying that much money for a Gibson Les Paul standard, and you're getting acrylic inlays. Come on, dude. Back to the topic. What else is here? You got the normal stock frets on this one, nickel based, and Gen 3 tuners. You can see in the back there, you can see the innards of, will it focus without my face? You can see the innards of the tuners there. Gen 2 tremolo. This is a 2015 model, so that's probably why I didn't quite make it to the Gen 3 tremolo, but that's fine. And I have to admit, I did block the trem there because I don't really use the trem much. And if what did I use here? I must have used either a pick. I think I can see it through the hole there a little bit. You cannot see it, but I think I must have used a 9-volt battery wrapped in duct tape, like a black tape, so that maybe thicken up a little bit. I don't know, who knows. I'll probably revisit that at some point. And 1052 strings, same as my Custom 24. I might just get that the custom 22, custom 24. I gotta say, I'll admit this is a artist package, so but still the same mahogany body, mahogany neck. This is an artist top, quilted maple. Right? Unfortunately there's a defect on the finish here. It looks a little bit cloudy. If you look at this one, this is clear, and then right around here you can see that that's clouded up. It's not a lack of polish, it's underneath the finish. But anyway, artist top. How much can you see of that? It's a quilt. You have a good look. It's a quilted maple top. It's beautiful if you could see it properly without the haze. You can probably see it. I couldn't see it on my monitor. And Brazilian rosewood fretboard with what kind of inlays are these? They are probably either mother of pearl, or they might even be just abalone. So that's the first bird there. I know what you're thinking. I should have more lights. I don't know if that's could be abalone, because mother of pearl doesn't have all these colors, right? And it also has the Brazilian rosewood, whatever you call this, the face of the headstock. You can see there. Let's have it focus. You can kind of see where the mahogany meets the, what do you call this? The layer of Brazilian rosewood. I forgot the name of it. Stock frets again. I think they are a tiny bit bigger than the custom 22. 2005 model, that's a 2015. They're 10 years apart. Now, when I play this, keep in mind mahogany body, mahogany neck, maple cap, rosewood fingerboard, but they sound different acoustically. Should I strap this, or I'll strap this? Nah, don't worry about it, man. Let me play a little bit, give you a little bit of the sound of it, but I'm sure you'll be able to hear it. It sounds a bit more snappy to me. And let me just give a disclaimer that this discussion for the whole Tonewood thing is for electric guitars, not for acoustic or acoustic instruments. This is just for the electric guitar context. Now, so you heard the sound of that. I'll just let you hear that again. And I get that you're gonna be telling me, oh, but you're playing the guitar acoustically anyway, even though you're talking about electric. Yeah, I get you, but we're building the context to it. But with this one, no, same type of woods, but completely different sound acoustically, despite being mahogany is warm. Oh, this just sounds like a fatter sound and a fatter attack even. Now, it is a fatter neck though. This is a pattern, no, pattern neck. That one, the 24 is a wide thin neck, which is equivalent to the pattern thin, I suppose. It's the modern naming convention. These are both strung with Elixir OptiWeb 10 to 52, I believe, and which means that the strings don't corrode like they would if they were uncoated. So they would at least have a similar sound, but with the actual guitar, technically they're supposed to sound similar because the similar woods, but acoustically it sounds different to each other, and could be attributing to the differences: Indian rosewood versus Brazilian, and who knows, the inlays, probably not the inlays, right? And the 24 also has the Gen 2 tuners. It doesn't show you the innards of the tuners. See, it's covered, Gen 2. Snappier sound. You can already hear it straight away. You can feel it too, from where I am anyway. Okay. Gen 2 tremolo on this. Okay. Now with the electronics, with the electronics, I don't know how much they vary with the actual inside electronics here with the 2005 and 2015. I know the switcher has changed, but on the circuitry, I'm not sure, I admit. I'm just a simple guy, okay? I'm just making my observations with what the average person, the average guitarist would know. And so the pickups on this are the 5815, and the pickups on the 24 are the HFS and the vintage bass. Now, already with that, so this is the warmer sounding wood, the warmer sounding guitar, despite having the similar kind of wood. But the 5815 is a brighter sounding pickup compared to the HFS. I find that when I change guitar, I'll be playing this for a week, let's say, jamming and all this, with my Rev G3, which is my main distortion, or whatever amp or preamp I put it through. When I switch over, I'll say on the next week, I switch over to the, just for the rotation, I switch over to the 24. I find that I have to brighten up the tone because the HFS is darker. So warmer sounding guitar with bright pickups, and brighter sounding guitar with warm sounding pickups, I suppose. It is a high output ceramic, that the HFS, it's a ceramic. I think it's a 12. I think it's 12 or 15K. Must be about 12K. This one is about, I think, 8K, or between 7 and 8K, something like that. It's supposed to be a PAF style pickup, and I love these pickups, the 5815. So far, I haven't owned a lot of pickups. I'm just a simple guy. I don't have a lot of money to buy a lot of gear, but so far my favorite. I've only had the Seymour Duncan JB. Not quite a fan of that. I've had I still have my EMG 81s on my M1000 from 2009, 2005 model from 2009, something like that. And yeah, the Tanglewood Les Paul style guitar that I have came with, what did they come with? Entwistle HV58. It's a vintage style Alnico 5, and then I put in some BG Pops Pure 90, which is a actual P90 cut down to be a humbucker sized pickup. Beautiful pickups, by the way. Now, but yeah, my favorite so far, I think, this is edgy, it's clear, it's open, and it's just a nice, I don't know, it's just a nice sound to me. But yeah, it's brighter. I don't know why. Could be the trem. No, look, if I was gonna put the electronics on, swap out the electronics, and I'm talking about not just the pickups, but including everything inside the cavity as well, right? Now I don't know if the finish, the back finish, also affects the tone. If we're gonna go that far, right? Black back or a dark green back versus a like a natural back. Who knows? If we're really gonna analyze that, we might as well do it then. Yeah, so if we were gonna change out the electronics, including all the stuff in here, swap it with the Custom 24, it'll probably have the same electric sound of what this is now with the 5815, because ultimately it's the electronics. Now I could swap out the pickups and then put these pickups on there, just the pickups by themselves, and leave the electronics there as it is. It'll probably sound slightly different, and it'll slightly sound different to when the 5815s are here. It's probably because you're probably going to be thinking, oh, it's the wood. It's probably, it could be from the wood, but it could also be because the electronics over at the 24 has different tolerances, right? You have to take that into account. Think about that. The tolerances can also make a difference. And the wires that are, the wires can probably make a difference to wire gauges of between the electronics. Who knows? Maybe it has some effect on the overall electric sound that ultimately comes out of the speaker, right? So, and also how with PRS they made a point, Paul had made a point that the wood had to be dried properly so that it's going to be resonant. I do think the Tonewood is important for resonance. When I buy a guitar, I want the guitar to be resonant acoustically because it can help with the sustain. That's when I'm thinking of Tonewood, the main importance for me is not the tone that it can provide, whether it's going to be bright or ultimately the ultimate sound. I think by ultimate sound I'm going to mean that the sound that comes out of whatever device it's emitting from to my ears, right? So the ultimate sound being the sound coming out from the speaker or coming out from the headphones or the in-ear monitors, how it's going to sound like that. And when it comes to what was I thinking? I lost my train of thought there with that little tangent, but anyway, I'll talk about what comes in my mind. But yeah, this pickup, if I put the HFSs in here, it'd probably be a slightly different sound compared to when it was over there, probably because of the electronics. Yeah, again, it could be because of the wood. Oh, yep. So I remember now. Yeah. So the important thing for me when it comes to buying a guitar is that the resonance, because when it comes to picking the wood, PRS was talking about how the wood has to be totally dried so that it's going to have good tonal properties, resonance, because the way I see it, yeah. So the ultimate sound, which is coming from the speakers or from little speakers, your headphones. When it comes to the electric sound, yeah, so you have to mind the electronics, and also the electric sound can also be, the ultimate sound can also be affected by how well the sustain is on the guitar, because the sustain is not just, it's not just about the length of the note. It's really it's really the character of how well the guitar is put together, how well they are as a unit, so that the sound is unencumbered. Because when the guitar is resonant, say you do a note, right? You hit a note, and then the guitar is also resonant. It's sort of like the strings are vibrating, giving energy to the guitar, and the guitar is resonating. It's giving energy back to the strings. It's like a feedback mechanism, and that's what gives it sustain, in my observation, or in the way I think about it. And so it means there's some efficient energy transference within the guitar, and then that translates pretty well into through the pickups, to the electronics, ultimately to the ultimate sound. So probably don't be worried too much about the, oh, what wood is a, when you talk about wood, how did the guitar makers know to use alder, to use mahogany, to use poplar, basswood? Probably at the end of the day, does it really? You see these woods coming out, these guitar manufacturers coming out with different new types of wood that you've never heard before, like which guitar brand was this? Jatoba. The which guitar brand was using that kind of wood? I think it was ESP LTD, or yeah, I think it was LTD. I was checking out LTD 256s the other day. I nearly bought one too, but like a EC 256, but snapped my mind out of it. I was thinking, do I need another guitar? Why if I was analyzing why do I just want this, or do I need this? But I snapped out of it, and I didn't end up buying it, and then it's probably for another video. Now, yeah, Jatoba fingerboard. I was thinking that's a new type of fingerboard. I never heard that before. Why isn't it rosewood? It's probably because rosewood there's issues, all these stuff with going to different countries and rarity, all this and that. So I don't know. It felt fine. Why do they use certain woods in fingerboards, on the body, on the neck? It just depends on if the wood is stiff enough to withstand the string tension, and with the context of having, in conjunction with the truss rod, of course, and if it can withstand the test of time, I suppose, how it's going to hold up, like, you know, with the vintage guitars and stuff. How will they be in 50 years time, especially the exposed woods, if given that you're maintaining it well or not maintaining it well. But you have to think as well, if you see on the website, oh, what's this wood? Well, it's probably not good because it's not rosewood, because or because the neck is not maple, or all this and that. Instead of that, why don't you just go in the store and try it out? Say, let's say if it's local to you, or just try it out. You might be surprised. At the end of the day, it's probably gonna be the all around, the overall build quality of the guitar. I could even buy a guitar, an electric guitar, just off of how it feels, and acoustically. How it feels also is how it plays, like how playing it feels on my hand, how lively the guitar is to play, the resonance. I could probably just buy a guitar off of that. Now I could probably buy a guitar without even plugging it in, because the electronics are, you can swap them out. But the wood, the construction, it could be a big job to do, especially when it's a set neck, but even more if it's a neck through. But yeah, I could probably buy a guitar off of just playing it acoustically and just feeling how lively the guitar, the instrument is. And these my two PRSs, they're supposed to sound at least fairly similar acoustically, and the feel, the liveliness of the guitar, but because it's similar woods in there. Now granted, the artist package has some artist features like the Brazilian rosewood. Maybe that's contributing to it. Is the Brazilian rosewood, what's the sonic characteristics of that? Is that like slightly brighter than an Indian rosewood fretboard? What about the maple cap? Is the artist, what is it? Is the artist, what's that? The artist quilted maple top a bit brighter than a regular flame maple top? They're both maple, different kinds. The fingerboards are both rosewood, but different kinds. The neck is both mahogany, but different sizes. What does the ultimate sound really ultimately come down to? You have to keep in mind what comes down to it. The things that you have to also think about the other things that contribute to the ultimate sound, like the bloody knobs on your amp. If you're using a cable, a really long cable, that can take out some high end too. If you use multiple pedals and a lot of them has true bypass, that can take away some. I think that can take away some tone, some high end as well. I saw this YouTube video of a guy comparing a bunch of pedals with true bypass and then a bunch of pedals with buffers in them, and then the ones with buffers sounded better because it preserved the sound digitally or analogically preserved the sound, the tone. Whereas with the all true bypass one, the tone has degraded. The ultimate tone was degraded. And probably in the sense of the high end dropping off. You have to think about the settings on your pedal, of course. You have to think about the room. Think about, because when you're playing, if you're playing live, right? If you're a live player, you will be thinking, when the room fills up, you have to adjust your settings so that you can change the ultimate sound, because it changes in that context. If you're a bedroom musician, of course it's going to be also different to if you're a working musician, a working guitarist or something. You probably would be thinking, you'd be more mentally paralyzed with with it. I would guess if you were just a solely bedroom guitar player who only plays at home just as a hobby, versus if you're a touring guitarist, let's say, because you have different priorities as a working musician or a touring guitar. I've been a bit of that too, because being in the band, and you focus more on the practical stuff and what really matters. And so when I'm getting a warmer sound, let's say in a venue, I'm not thinking about, oh man, I should use my bright sounding, my bright wooden guitars, my maple neck guitar, blah blah blah, because come on bro, just turn up the mid or high mid or the treble on that, or presence, just practical stuff, man. Maple, like, you know what I mean, when it really matters. So I got my LTD M1000 there, which has alder body and maple neck, and it's a neck through body, so the maple runs from the neck all the way down to the butt here of the guitar on the M1000. But I don't know if the guitar sounds bright as it should, being alder and maple neck through. I don't really find that to be the case. It sounds like when I first got my Tanglewood TSB 58, it ultimately sounded brighter with the passive pickups, Alnico 5 vintage stuff. And granted, it's a vintage style pickup, so the winds are lower compared to the EMG 81 active pickup, which is about, I measured it, it was about 10K. I don't know how that the active pickup stuff works, and the circuitry in there, the electronic inside the pickup, but acoustically it was okay with the resonance, but the ultimate sound is still, because it's a high output pickup, and it's also ceramic. The AMG 81 is a ceramic, so it was tight sounding, and it was not as bright as you would think. I don't know what it's about, but it just made me think about this whole Tonewood stuff. So again, going back to my earlier point about the Jatoba fingerboard, when you see, don't worry about the wood that it's in there. I certainly don't. Like when I'm gonna pick up a guitar, right? What wood they use, like if it's mahogany or if it's gonna be, I don't know, poplar, it probably won't really matter to me what it says there, what it says on the specification. What matters really to me is the resonance of the guitar, and I definitely want stainless frets, man, because stainless frets seem to be in now these days, and I've even seen budget guitars on the, I don't know, US $300 or $400 range, and they have, granted they are made in China, they have the stainless frets already, and then the quality assurance, the quality inspection, quality assurance, the QC on those guitars are pretty good. When I was inspecting the fret job, that's one of the things that's important to me, the fret job on the sides here. But yeah, stainless frets. The body, I don't want the body to be heavy, right? Another thing about the Les Paul, the Gibson Les Pauls and all this stuff, I think it's just unnecessary how thick they are, in my opinion. I used to have an ESP Eclipse like an actual ESP Eclipse, the one with the lawsuit one with the 4 knobs and the better looking bottom cut here, not like the new ones with the 3 knobs. That one was a was it cherry burst or honey burst, the name of the color, but it was that kind of color. And that one was very resonant. I don't know why I sold that guitar, but that one was very resonant, light. The body was probably, I don't remember if it was thinner than this or if it was this thin. Of course it gets thick as you go to the middle because it's a carved top. It goes kind of thin, starts thin here and then it becomes thicker. The thickest being around this part here, the thickest part of the body. But that was an amazing guitar with a thin body, right? Thin. And yeah, it sounded acoustically, it sounded pretty amazing, very lively. Again, I don't know why I sold it, but who knows. And yeah, it was thin. It didn't have to be. It just goes to show that you don't need like a full, what is it with Gibson's, 5-inch or 4.5-inch on the thickness of the body. I just think it's unnecessary. And when you have a guitar that's also heavy and you're a working or touring musician, the fatigue might set in. But when it comes to weight, I don't think a guitar should be heavy. It doesn't need to be heavy because if a lot of people are still under the impression that a heavy guitar sounds best. Really? The other thing I'm looking for in a guitar when I'm buying it, if it's a transparent finish, and then the top has to look, it has to look decent too. And yeah, overall, liveliness. Don't worry about what wood they're using. Worry about, probably, I would suggest worry about the liveliness. And my Tanglewood guitar has a plastic nut. I'll probably change that to a bone nut to have a better sustain, but I've never really felt the need to do it. It's an awesome guitar. Mahogany, it was a gold top. It's a gold top. It's a mahogany body and mahogany neck. And this one still sounds warmer acoustically and fatter attack. So yeah, Tonewood is important. Not exactly how you think it is, but it's important. It's important for the liveliness, for how just the feel of the guitar, because really, I think that's what people mean by mojo, right? Or ultimately it's part of the mojo when the guitar feels so lively when you play it. I think that's part of the mojo. So think about it. Think about. Now, I'm sure there's a few more things that I could discuss about this, but I'll probably discuss in another video because I'm just repeating points. But it's probably still useful because some things need to be drilled, right? To help kind of, if you will, break you out of the brainwash. I'm not selling guitars, so I'm not in a position where I have to sell Tonewood. So I'm probably gonna get how long before my channel gets deleted for saying all that? You got big tech, big food, big pharma, big music. Who knows? But Tonewood, big lumber. Don't worry too much about the whole Tonewood, man. Just think about what I've discussed here. Okay? Think for yourself. Whatever you've heard from the guitar industry, from your respected guitar player, your influence, think about what beliefs you adopted from them. Are they trying to get some money off that in some way? Like, oh yeah, mahogany guitars are great, and then they're playing a Gibson, and Gibson makes a lot of mahogany guitars, and so it'll ultimately make more people buy from them, and then Gibson gets a bunch of money, and then maybe the guitar player gets a cut out of that. Think about that. And if it's from another bedroom player, think about that too. Are they just prone to believing what they're just instantly believing something from a reputable guy, like someone who has authority, like a famous guitar player, Slash or something like that. Even from me. But I want to encourage you to think for yourself when it comes to this, man. Whoever mahogany guitar, you believe a mahogany guitar, mahogany wood is a warmer wood, and alder is a balanced wood, and maple is a brighter sounding wood. Why do you believe that? Who did you get that belief from? Do those people have your best interest in mind and heart? What's in it for them for making you believe that? Go to the guitar store, try the guitar with the unusual, the uncommon wood that got your attention. When you play the guitar, are you so wowed or underwhelmed? And let's say you're wowed. Are you so wowed that you totally forgot about the Jatoba fingerboard and the whatever body wood? Did you forget about that? If so, now do you think, does it really matter? Just think about that. Think for yourself. Don't be a dummy. Don't be some empty vessel. Be better. Be a better guitarist.